Welcome back everyone to episode 4 of the Red Brick Reno, and we're now airtight. Joined by Dean and Darryn from Backman Builders. Where are we? What's happening?
Yeah, it's probably the most exciting day we've had on site for a long time. It's been such an awesome project. The guys have been working hard through, and we're going to find out. We're at 23 air changes before we got cracking, so we're going to see live in a minute exactly where we're at.
Yep.
Before we start heading into finished floors, we've got the waterproofing down, so tiling's nearly ready, and joinery is going to start being installed next week. So we're moving along, and it's exciting. Looking forward to it all coming together.
All right, so full disclaimer, we actually haven't spun the blower door yet to see what the end result is. So everyone watching, you're going to see this for the first time as we do. I've done a walk around, everything looks exceptionally well detailed. There's certainly nothing obvious to us. We've done the baseline on the blower door already, so we kind of know what we've already got to set up with. So let's get to it. We'll set it to 50 pascals of pressure and see what that result is.
Let's go.
So the fan will probably just overcompensate to begin with a little bit, but then we should have some results very soon. All right, so we're already sub 2 air changes an hour. So as Dean said, we were at 23. So this is personally the most significant difference or improvement that I've had in a project for an existing house. So from 23 to, we're getting close to 1.5 air changes an hour now. So we're almost at that point of the Enefit 1 air change an hour requirement. I think, dare say, with a little bit more detailing on the some of the leakage that we'll find now as we walk around the home, we'll probably have this sitting around 1 air change an hour. So that's a phenomenal result. Well done, back with the team.
Thanks, Anthony. And it's awesome to see this figure. The brief of the job was to make it more energy efficient, so we didn't have our clients being cold. And well and truly, you can feel it in here. You can feel the quality of the air and more of an airtight home. So it's an exciting number to see. We're at 1.5, 1.6.
Great result. All right, we might walk around now and just sort of showcase some of the air leakage that we can find and how we might rectify some of that as well and get that number a little bit lower. But at the moment, that's sitting at a really fantastic result, and considering we've got mechanical ventilation in this project, I couldn't be happy with that. So.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible result after walking around and identifying some of the air leakage and sealing it up. We found it sort of in the gap between where the new UPVC windows had been retrofitted against the existing hardwood timber reveals. We found one of the GPOs had not been sealed, and we were able to identify that during that as well. With all of that combined, we have seen a result of 0.96 air changes an hour at 50 pascals of pressure. Now look, that meets Enefit standard. That's an incredible result from Backman and the team, and Dean, yourself and Darryn, and congratulations.
Thanks, mate. No, we're all excited. We just had a big pump up session. Our client was in here. It was a bit of a mission, everyone walking around, and that's just the fun of it. Like it's everyone working together and watching those numbers just bounce down, bounce up a little bit, and as Anthony mentioned, some of the challenges with it is we've got some of the old horsehair plaster here where we've had some windows retrofitted. So there's that sort of almost hairline crack that we've got the horsehair fibres where we've filled the windows, and that needed a little bit more work. Obviously an electrical box was a big one, and you just get onto it, but it's awesome with the OUTLIER team, the client, and Backman Builders and our crew to achieve sub 1 air changes.
Sub 1 air changes an hour on an existing home. So how did we do it? So the subfloor has been completely wrapped to the underside of the joist, so that's now all airtight. That's all been insulated. We've got particle board flooring down over the top of that. From the particle board flooring, that's been taped and sealed at all the exterior and interior walls, because we've got an old fitted floor. The interior walls are also leaking air up into that roof space through the stud framing. And so that's all been sealed to the plasterboard, and now all that plasterboard is now airtight, and we've installed, Dean and the team have installed airtight GPO, or general power outlets, and light switch boxes, so that's all nice and airtight. And then the ceiling's also been refurbished in areas as well. So the wall vents that we traditionally see in older homes, they've all been sealed, and just around all of the UPVC windows, that's all been sealed up as well, and along the picture framing, and of course the chimney. Now that collectively has been able to provide that that result. There is mechanical ventilation. I know we've mentioned that beforehand, so we'll be able to touch on that further in the next episode, or the one thereafter. Yeah. Look, again, fantastic result. Hope everyone enjoyed this, and if you've got any questions, please reach out. And as always, please follow along, like and subscribe, because that's how we get exposure, and that's how we're able to keep producing more of this content. Hi, thanks for taking the time to come and have a look at the Hybrid Home course. It's been produced by OUTLIER Studio, and we've been working on it for the last 18 months. Look, we cover all the topics that you're going to need to be able to upskill and learn a little bit more about how you can have a higher performing home. We look at energy efficient housing design in general, orientation, airtightness, insulation, ventilation, thermal bridging, glazing, and we do touch on cost a little bit too. Although, disclaimer, it's only at the current time of recording that we've been able to put those forward. You'll find everything from as-built verifications, in which we have our own services and advice, helpful handouts that touch on all of the topics that we discussed that you can see on the left-hand side here in the video. We consider things in detail, like how we go about recording our height for shading. We also do some demonstrations on how to achieve better results in a NatHERS assessment. You'll see what looks like when we do our inspections and see the thermal bridging occurring. And you can also have a look at a previous presentation from Builders Declare that we did. We'll look at the importance of ventilated cavities and the right wraps and moisture control, as well as the ventilation systems. Thermal bridging is a big one that we touch on, and a step-by-step process of how to install a window. On top of that, you've got all these fantastic construction details you can use for projects yourselves and in your documentation. We look at all the best practices, high performance, and even airtight construction as well in these details. So please take the opportunity now to purchase the course. You will not regret.
Alright guys, so it's been a week since we've been here and done the blower tour test with Anthony. As we saw last week, we've gone from over 23 air changes an hour in pre-construction before we started, and we're down to 0.96 air changes an hour, which is in the realms of and a fit for passive house. So this house is not going to be a passive house, but it's got all the elements. We're going to bring in a HRV system, we've got the high performance windows, we've obviously got the air tightness here with the ProClimber products. As we've seen some of the really cool details that obviously take time but just really change how this home is. The subfloor is the critical one. The connections through from the subfloor to our airtight barrier, which is our plaster, so that's all the internal walls, external walls, is such a critical component. The subfloor, anywhere we've affected, is re-insulated, and it's like really cozy in here. So yeah, one of the really cool details that we've seen that I really like is the internal doorways. So obviously we get a lot of air from a subfloor, from in the roof cavity, and that gets into our walls. So there's gaps between plates, studs, floor, the whole work. So the actual attention to detail by putting a wrap around the frame opening for it and taping that up is pretty critical. If we didn't have that, we would still be getting a lot of air leaks in the home. But yeah, so pretty much as we've come in, the guys have done a great job. We've been ecstatic and the vibes have been amazing on site. And it just goes to show, like, with the attention to detail, we can really change the comfort, the energy efficiency, and overall the health of the home by introducing these details. So yeah, we'll have a look around and show you what we're up to. As I said, it's been a week. We've now got our recycled floors in, which are basically been removed. Our client was really keen on integrating some recycled and sustainable products. So these floors have some nail holes through them. It's looking really rustic. It's going to have more of a wax finish on this, which is going to come up really nice. It's going to flow through. We've got our cabinet maker, Harry, has been in busy putting the kitchen. We've got the ensuite vanity in with some cabinetry. We've got splashes through here of recycled shelving, and I'll cover that off with Harry himself in a minute. But we've got some great elements coming together. Our tiler's got some pretty cool looking finishes coming into the ensuite. So yeah, we're heading into the really fun stage of this project. So we'll come in, we'll have a look at the kitchen and a chat about the joinery. Cheers. Alright guys, so like we've spoken about in the last week, we've had a lot happening. We've had the reclaimed floors going down, we've had the tiler busy, and this man who's been on episode 2. Last time we were standing in the kitchen in your factory, mate, yep. And this time we're pretty much nearly finished installing. So yeah, it's looking amazing. We've had an awesome collaborative process with our client, design team, build team, which is obviously you're a part of with the joinery. And each intricate detail. It's not always the easiest working with an existing space, so we've had a couple of fun things to work in with, some walls we haven't touched and so forth. But yeah, mate, let us know what's left in here and what's the next steps for you.
Yep, so most of the kitchen's in, more fine details, adjusting all the doors, all the drawers. We're just about to put in some of the timber work. All the floating shelves with LED lighting, so working with electricians today to do that. And then really will be the stone measure and then wait for that to get put in.
And then it's handed over to the a few more finishing trades. So yeah, so this is our blend of recycled messmate, which are floating shelves you're working on.
Yep.
It's got like a matte finish, water-based finish on that.
Yep.
And then yeah, we'll sort of span that out for the camera, but we've got the rebates in here with some LED lighting, so the Sparkies and yourself, obviously with air tightness, it's an important part of what we do, and we've brought you in on some training and blower door tests and everything, so that the whole team's informed on what they need to do and what to be mindful of. So spending that little bit more time and effort with the electricians and carpenters to kind of step through how we're bringing cables through, when they're going to be sealed, if we're going to have holes to run through it. So a lot of that comes in planning. We've probably had a lot of conversations about elements, but yeah, it's looking terrific, mate. So we're pretty pumped to see final result. But yeah, looking forward to seeing this finished, mate.
Thank you. So am I.
Awesome. We're in the bathroom, so let's start just looking here first. This is what I was talking about earlier, cool little detail. We've got our Pro Climber wrap here. We've used offcuts so that we're not obviously having waste. We keep all of our offcuts to use in certain circumstances, and that's it here. So this is taking some teamwork here with obviously the carpenters, and then working in the waterproofing as we come in. You know, the obvious thing that we see in bathrooms and en-suites is tiling. OUTLIER Studio with the interior design here have done a really cool job. The client's gone through collaborating with that early days to go and have a look, spend the time, pick out what they'd like. So we, throwing in some really nice colour here with the green. We've got more of a traditional 600 by 600 tile. We're flowing through some brass fittings with the fixtures and fittings, so the tile trim and everything we're just keeping uniform. So that's obviously all the work in progress at the moment. One of the biggest things with wet areas, it is a lot of teamwork that goes in. So collaboration for us doesn't just stop for design and then our clients. It flows right through the project with all of our trades. You can't afford to have mistakes in a bathroom. So electricians, plumbers, carpenters, the details for the insulation, the air tightness, it all flows through. We can't have a trade come in, knock holes in and affect our air tightness. Now we're under one. So that's something we'll retest again. But as we've come through, the timber flows through this project. We've seen here recycled messmate. Harry's done an awesome job of this. It's going to come up fantastic when it's finished with some stone. Fixtures and fittings are going to take place, and yeah, they're really going to pop. So might not be the biggest bathroom for a 2-bedroom home, but it is going to look amazing. So yeah, have a look through the details. But one of the favourite things that we're going to like to see is these tiles. There's obviously various patterns with subway tiles, different shapes and formats. Got a bit of a rustic finish to the edges. They're not all clean cut. And then yeah, we've left out sections here where we've got to have some shaving cabinets, some feature mirrors and so forth. So yeah, a lot of communication. If we go back to episode 1, I think we had in there, we're talking about what we're keeping, reusing. So these architraves, we've pulled off the old windows, kept them in, and we're going to obviously refinish them to make sure they're looking brand new, basically. So yeah, this is basically the gist of a bathroom in its working sense. Before it looks all cleaned up and smick. It's obviously looking a little bit messy. There's tilers and guys working, doing cutouts and keeping it going. So it's going to come together in the next couple of weeks as we head towards the finishes. All right, guys, so that's pretty much a wrap for episode 4. We've shown you through. Blower door test results are in. It's going to show how the livability of a home can be improved and much more comfortable and healthy. We've got the finishing touches coming together here. So this series is progressing. Hopefully getting some great insights if you're watching along. What we would love to see is liking and subscribing our channel so that we can just keep bringing you this content and educating people and showing you what's involved in a real building site as we work as a collaborative team. And yeah, looking forward to showing you the finished results in the coming weeks. Cheers, guys.